Good morning, West Ham fans. Rush to the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe. Well, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Now, reports yesterday suggest that discussions for a transfer of Mohamed Kudus out of West Ham have believed to accelerated as he has recently changed agents, and that usually is a big sign that a player is looking for something to do in terms of movement, either a new contract or a transfer out of his existing club. They don't tend to change agents unless they're looking for something to change. We know Kadus is our big ticket item really this summer, and the likelihood is he'll go and he wants to remain in the Premier League. So Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, I think Newcastle and Man United are basically the five in terms of players, in terms of clubs he could go to. We need the cash. And that's no secret. The club have made that position very clear, which I think is a detriment to the club in terms of doesn't put us in a particularly good light, doesn't put us in a particularly good negotiation perspective as well. Yes, you can plead poverty. Yes, you can plead that, we've got to sell to buy, but then a buying club for someone like 𝙍𝙀𝙋𝙊𝙍𝙏 knows they can get a good deal because we're desperate for the cash. Whether we are desperate for the cash is another thing. Let me just sort myself out a little bit. And I think there's somewhere in between the two. I don't think we are Brasset. I don't think we're skint. But I think to invest money, we need to. I think they need to have some sort of reassurance, so to speak. So if there was half a dozen clubs interested in 𝙍𝙀𝙋𝙊𝙍𝙏, which they were originally. Now there's probably about 3 or 4. With Kudus, I think I still think there's money available because we're led to be believed that we have been putting bids in for players. We put a nominal bid in for Mario Stoikens the other day. We put in a bid for, which was described as a futile bid, for Yunus Musaï from AC Milan, and then AC Milan came back crawling. So actually, no, we could have your money, and then we're saying, oh shit. So I think it's somewhere in the halfway house. But when a player moves agents, that does signal intention. Now we're led to believe that Mohamed won't push for a move. But he's open to new opportunities. I think the lineman said in the article on the Sun, I think it was. But it's the clearest sign yet that he's on his way out of London Stadium, or he's exploring the possibility of leaving London Stadium. He's and it's actually taken quite a bit for him to move agents because his brother was his agent recently, and now he's appointed a top European agency called ROF. Representatives of Outstanding Footballers. That really just makes me sick. It's such a horrible name. His new agent lists the likes of Virgil van Dijk, Kai Havertz, Lookman, Serge Gnabry, amongst their clientele. And now they can add Mohamed Kudus to that list. When he leaves, which I think is a matter of when, not if, it'll be his second transfer in 3 years. When he moved from Ajax to West Ham, he was represented by Jennifer 𝙍𝙀𝙋𝙊𝙍𝙏, definitely not how you pronounce it. And then pretty much after that had gone through, sacked him and appointed his brother. He might do this again with ROF, the representatives of Outstanding Footballers. And presumably they'll be tasked with bringing his exit to West Ham to a swift conclusion and handle negotiations for terms and stuff like that. We know that the £85 million release clause is active from the 1st of July. I think it's literally the first, like the 11th, it's like a 10-day window it's activated for. But obviously the club then has an opportunity to get as much out of that sort of deal pre and post that. Obviously 85 million, I think if we get 85 million pounds, I think it's a fantastic deal anyway for West Ham, to be honest. It's 2.5 times what we paid. I'll say twice, just round up. And if we're led to believe, we get 70% of that to then reallocating, for budget. Plus, don't forget £1.17 million from Pierre Aguiar as well. It's one of those things. It's like a breakup, isn't it? It's like you're going to break up with your girlfriend, and you sort of go through the motions. You go out for Sunday dinner the next day, and it's going to happen, and you just want to rip off the Band-Aid. I watched a video from Nick Clattenbooth, which was really interesting, talking about let's ditch it all, not sell anyone. I think Adam did a little video as well, and I did a thing at the weekend saying, what if we didn't sell anyone apart from Kudus, but keep the players, and that type of thing. But I just think, although I think Mohamed hasn't openly said and hasn't pushed for a move, I think he sort of has internally in his head, and he wants to be playing in European football, and it's something that we brought him to London Stadium with, and he didn't have it last season. He's not going to have it this season if he stays with us. So, he wants to be playing on the main stage and stuff like that. And fair play, same as Now Figueroa as well. Now he wants to play Champions League football. Good luck to him. Who are we to say he can't? It's a job to them. It's professional. It's profession. They want to get as much money as they can. At the same time, they want to play at the high stage. I think we've had a good run with Mohamed. Season, 2 seasons now. I think if we were in Europe, we would have. If we were in Europe this year coming, that would have mean we'd have had some good performances. So we would have been in the cups or in the league, which in turn would have meant Mohamed would have had a better season, which in turn would have probably bumped up the price for him, or at least have a number of people waiting for that minimum release clause to hit and then go in with the £85 million, where that's not the case. I think if we get anywhere close to £80 million for him in today's market with the season we had behind him, including him, I think we've done very, very well, to be honest. And I'd rather have players who are wholly set on playing for West Ham at the moment. That's my 2 cents worth. But let me know what you think. It does sort of it signals the end. If it was a girlfriend, they'd have cancelled the holiday we were going to go to. Maybe started to put some clothes in a bag, going around to their friends for the evening. More often than not. Not that I've been there or anything like that. It's striking a chord with anyone. But I'm sure that's going to be accelerated along with Now Figueroa. We believe his that's going to be accelerated as well, according to X. That was yesterday, and sort of price set for Emerson about £8.5-10 million. So I always assumed we'd start seeing a lot of ins and outs or some movement towards the end of the month, going into July when pre-season starts. Of course, that means from a salary perspective, they don't have to pay them until the 1st of July, innit, for the salary. So it's an extra month they save. Anyway, peeps, that's me. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and I'll see you soon. Much love. Bye-bye. Peace out, motherfucker.